I sat down this morning with a Solana NFT project that you probably have not heard about. And interestingly enough, they have an upcoming pre-sale mint in just a few days. It's very uncommon for a project to be doing some form of a mint without much hype around it. Now, no, this is not a stealth mint. This project has actually been very, very focused on building. And they're not just building nothing. They're not just building a basic game or, a basic roadmap or anything like that. No, they're building the metaverse. And more importantly, they're building the metaverse to be accessible to everyone. It kind of blew my mind when I started talking to them about what actually does that mean? What is the metaverse? And what is required to build it? What kind of expertise do you need? What kind of equipment do you need? What's been your experience in the past with building these types of things? And that's what this video is going to be about. I actually sat down with the team, with the people who are building this, as well as the people who are representing the project and talking about how the community can get involved. So I really can't encourage you enough to really stretch your mind on this one. Really go into this and listen to what they have to say and what they've gone through and what they believe a metaverse is and how you go about building it. Again, this is actually pretty fascinating stuff that really caught me off guard when I was having this dialogue with them. This was stuff that I did not know that they had going on. So it's actually really, really cool. And I had a lot of big responses to some of the things that they had to say. Now, nothing in this video should be construed as financial advice. You should always do your own research and determine if investing in cryptocurrency or NFTs or anything mentioned in this video is best for you and your situation. But nonetheless, there is some interesting stuff that's covered in this video, and I hope that you actually listen to this kind of like as a podcast style and just listen to it the whole way through and listen to what they have to say, because they have exciting stuff that they cover all the way up to the very end of this video. Also, they launched a new website, so if you want to check it out, it's right there on the screen. You can also find a link down in the description. Make sure you follow these guys on Twitter and Discord. So without further ado, let's jump into hearing from the project of Moonrocks, where they are building their own metaverse. So I'm sitting down with members and collaborators of the Moonrocks team right now. Now, you guys, I've been getting to know you a little bit behind the scenes, which has been kind of fun and exciting because I've learned a little bit about what you got going on. We're still kind of in our early days, though, feeling each other out, learning about the project and where you want it to go. And this is why I'm really excited to sit down with you guys today. So, with that being said, you have a pre-sale coming up pretty soon in the next few days, but you've been kind of low-key. Tell me about what it is that you've been working on.
Right. So we've just been building the foundation for Moonrocks the past few months. We've been extremely busy finalizing the content so that we could put out the best product of our NFT as possible. We're not looking to just launch a quick project here as a cash grab. Rather, what Moonrocks is looking to do is build a metaverse. Now, we're not just a regular NFT project that's claiming they're going to be in a metaverse. What I've been doing the past few months is establishing some great connections in the field, predominantly with Luis and 361 VR. So Luis, if you want to tell a little bit about yourself so that our audience can have kind of a better idea of who we've been working with.
Knox, I want to say thank you. This is my first time speaking with you, and I appreciate you taking the time. It's a privilege to get to know you and communicate with you this way. And thanks, man. So a little bit about me. My name is Luis Flores. I'm a filmmaker in Hollywood for about 22, 23 years now. My background began in a lot of sports-related, projects, wrestling shows, ironically, and then I went on to do music videos for several years with MTV. Probably worked on a couple 300, 400 music videos under different artists. Went over to Fear Factor for a while, American Idol, America's Got Talent. Worked on several feature films, tentpole movies, and what have you. Excuse me. During this process, I was very early in adopting the technology of 4K cinema by a company called Red Digital Cinema, a very popular camera in Hollywood. These cameras were so advanced, and I was so early on it that I built a relationship with them that gave me early access to the technology to really start to understand the unique abilities that you could do with these raw formats. Now I'm getting very technical, and that's not going to help us here, but in a nutshell, I was able to be early in using these cameras to support these tentpole projects, meaning these very large feature film movies, Transformers or whatever of that nature, to build what we thought was virtual reality solutions for that level kind of thing. You had several uh, people who were building solutions at a small scale. Me and my team at that time, we were strictly focused on building the best technical equipment and acquisition software and hardware for shooting the projects of hopefully Lucas or Spielberg or Michael Bay at that level. So we were very successful in making some unique equipment, but we were early. We were early to the game, way early. We're talking 2014, 2013, right after Oculus did their big move. So we developed all this technology. We had all this experience. I became very good friends with people who today are doing very successful projects. One of them is Ed Mason, who ironically right now is the guy who put together the Frogland project, which was a very successful NFT drop. And he's building his metaverse. And I was just with him yesterday all day. And we all come to the agreement that when we were in the VR space, it's a very expensive technical exercise to do at a very high quality. So it requires a lot of financing and financial backing.
Yep.
What we discovered over the years were the return on the investment for the corporate companies and for the people that were actually paying us to do this just wasn't there. Lack of headset penetration to the market, lack of quality in the resolution, a number of different things. It was just pricey. However, we didn't see NFTs coming. And NFTs flip it on its world, and we now finally have
Yep.
something that gives the artist to lead the way in the technology of what we're experiencing with the metaverse.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough for the Moonrocks to, I think, discover me and what I was doing. They put two and two together before I did. You know, we're talking a little bit and I'm joshing with them and I'm like, yeah, your avatar's cool and this and this and that. When I think what they were really doing was they were just vetting me out. And then they hit me a little bit later and they say, can you make a VR, platform solution for us? And I'm like, wait. You guys understand this stuff? And it took me a while to understand they were working on figuring out how could they build a metaverse for their Moonrocks, but they were doing it very quietly. I think one of the things that makes them very unique with the entire team behind Moonrocks is they don't go and promote and hoo-ha and beat on their chest. They've been quietly teaming up and partnering with various different companies. And I'm lucky to be one of them, to join them, to really try to build the team at a level or at a structure that gives us a real chance to survive even in the tough times that may come in the future. Because building such a daunting task, it's going to have some of its challenges. So we have to build a strong team with the foundation so we can reach our destinations, hopefully,
Yeah. I mean, circling back a little bit, you were saying something to the effect of like, we're about to get really technical and that's not helpful. But I'm like leaning in closer to the mic and I'm like, tell me more. I'm kind of fascinated by all of this. And I'm looking at what looks like your profile picture right now. I hope anyone who's at home watching this kind of like zooms in, goes full screen, and takes a look at this. Like, what am I looking at right now when I see all of these rigs?
Wow. So early in the development, we were using what was the best camera equipment in the world at that time, with the highest resolution and the most density and the most flexible imagery. And I'll break it down. Let me unpack this a little bit. We figured we're going to work with Hollywood elite visual effects artists who are prepared and experienced with dealing with film or high resolution raw data. So we used at the time 6K, not 4K, but 6K, was called the Dragon Red camera. One of the most advanced cameras at that time. And we put them into stereo pairs. You'll see them on left, right, and go in a circle, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and one shooting upward. The reason for that is to shoot in stereo, or what people know as 3D, you have to have imagery of the left eye and the right eye.
Uh-huh.
So we had built this system, and thanks to the team and the post team, somebody who I work with to this very day by the name of Andrew Schwartz, they built an algorithm and a pipeline with a very advanced computer system to be able to extract the data, convert it into stereo, into 360 at a very high resolution with just perfect imagery on the results. It was a very tedious process, several computers. But back then, this actual photo was taken in Barcelona, Spain for BMW as we did their campaign for one of their vehicles, which I believe was a Mini Cooper at the time. We were out there for almost a month, and we really lugged around this entire rig all over the state, I suppose, right? And then some. And it was an incredible experience. And we just really honed our craft in pulling this off. In the end, all it meant was lots and lots of hard drives and wait a long time for the footage to be finished and stitched. Early, when tools were just not available, the solutions were just not out there at that time.
Yeah.
So you had to make it yourself. And that's how it worked.
So you've been doing this a while. And oh, I'm hearing myself come through.
Sorry, is that me?
Yeah, could you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, thanks. So you've been doing this a while, and you have experience doing this at the highest levels, which is amazing because to me, this still feels like new technology. I actually got an Oculus like 2 weeks ago, and I barely touched it yet, but it's so fascinating that I've used it. Like the couple times I've used it, I just, it blows my mind that it works the way that it does. Hearing what actually goes in to making these technologies work. You mentioned something like you have to shoot a right eye and a left eye, and it made me go, oh shit, that's how the brain would really process that. And I didn't even think about not the technology, but the anatomy to make virtual reality and 360 images work. And that's really, really fascinating. I guess where I'm going with this is there's a level of experience you have, and then we toss this blockchain into the mix with the metaverse. How do you feel about tackling that challenge?
Do we have 4 hours? What do we got? Here's something special, Knox, and I haven't spoken to anybody about this publicly, but I'd like your fans and your listeners to know what's happening here. You see, you got to understand, I built solutions for the NFL. We were aggressively building solutions at the highest level for Michael Bay and people of that ilk because we knew it was necessary to get the fans on board. But we didn't realize the challenges we were going to run into. During this process, blockchain and Bitcoin had taken off. And let me give you a connection here that people don't understand how a lot of these people got involved with mining. When it comes to Bitcoin mining, and it's a little tangent, but it's valuable here. Bitcoin mining requires graphics cards at the highest level. VFX artwork uses graphics cards at the highest level. VFX artists in Hollywood had the computer systems to mine Bitcoin before anybody knew about that. So the VFX artists I was dealing with in the downtime were mining Bitcoin, which at that time was more of a scary, weird situation that had a lot of promise in the technology, but it was also a dangerous, I'm not going to say gamble, but it was a gamble in many sorts, right? Here's the cool part about it. Excuse me. So once you really unwrap and you start to understand the white paper of Bitcoin, you start to say, holy cow, this is going to be applied to the rest of the world independently of financial cryptocurrencies. This is going to penetrate, it should penetrate the health market, the hospital systems, government solutions. I mean, just decentralized anything. And the truth and the transparency and being able to follow the transactions has value far beyond cryptocurrencies. So I dug deep into that rabbit hole. I went to go learn from a couple of very, very well established people. And I got so involved. I wanted to do an ICO, an initial coin offering, back in 2015. And the reason I wanted to do initial coin offering was I'm an independent filmmaker. I am union. I work on tentpole and cool stuff, but I still want to make my own movies out of my own pocket so I could retain and have ownership of my movies. We had success with one of my first movies with my crew and my gang, Bellflower, the movie, which we sold at Sundance back in 2009. That experience of having a successful independent feature film opened our eyes to having the ownership of a movie and have royalties. And it was a magical, life-changing experience. So we wanted to strike lightning again. And hopefully successfully doing an ICO, which I had designed a white paper, and it was like 30 pages long. I, in fine detail, made this for Hollywood to show how we could pre-fund feature films. Sadly, when I went to go launch this in Puerto Rico years ago, it was not safe due to the securities capabilities that it may run into. That it could become a security and be a dangerous finish or product, I had to back off for various different reasons. But I always had the understanding there's something possible here to distribute the ability to invest in a feature film throughout the world, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of government, regardless of any lines, just because you love the artwork. Well, skip ahead 7-8 years later, NFTs magically give us a similar ability as long as you understand and respect the utility factor. Once you start to realize to give them utility, you're back in the ability of the artist to be able to do something they magically want to do through NFTs, which is cryptocurrencies.
As soon as you started talking about it, when you were talking about making feature films and using an ICO to help people do it, I knew this is where you were going with that. Because like our brains, I think, are kind of in sync. We see the same solution. We see that the road leads to this moment where an NFT is more than just a piece of artwork now. It's an investment in an organization and a product that's building something special. And that specialness can come in the form of entertainment through music, through movie, through artwork, or in I think this pretty unique experience here, through a virtual reality 3D metaverse experience, which sounds amazing. I want to ask the Moonrocks team a little bit about this, about what is your vision for the metaverse? What is it that you actually want to build? Make me close my eyes and dream about it a little bit.
Definitely. So metaverse is such a broad term, and with Facebook having its name changed to Meta, it's brought a lot of awareness to the space. The only problem is that no one can necessarily coin it because metaverse is not finalized. There's no one meaning behind it. So it's really up to the interpretation of the creators to kind of develop that. And with the Moonrocks team, the way we see the metaverse is all inclusive. So not just an Oculus Rift where anyone can kind of go and visit a virtual world. Rather, it'll be a place where everyone can be. So the development on the back end that we've been working on for our metaverse, we've been wanting to incorporate virtual reality without speaking too much, because there are a few NDAs and some companies that we are in works with that we can't necessarily name out right now. But the overall thing that we envision for the metaverse is that it's all inclusive. And so what we're building is using a couple of different game engines. We're making a virtual reality world for are Mad Martians. Now, this is going to be called Moonrock's Metaverse. However, it's a lot deeper than just Mad Martians, because what we're ultimately trying to accomplish here is the immersion of all other NFT projects within our space. So we're going to be able to have partnerships and include a lot more of these other projects onto our world. We'll be introducing a token and a lot of other cool stuff. You could check on our website and our roadmap, you know, just the integration of some hologram AI technology. But what we envision is just a place where everyone can meet up, make friends with people, maybe even find love, play mini games. And this is all going to be accessible to the everyday user on just their iPhone. So like I said,
Oh, that's big. Because that circles back to inclusivity, right? Like
definitely.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that like made me like you saw I had a reaction, right? Like that was because I've got my Oculus. I went out and bought an Oculus because I assumed that when everybody talked about the metaverse, that this was going to be a requirement to do it. But you just said that there's something that I've had in my pocket for like a decade now
Right.
that's going to get me there.
I could give you a little background on what's happening there, and I don't mean at all to cut them off, but I'm really excited to. We're so close to make an announcement with a company that is strictly focused at this time to provide the solutions through your cell phone today. I've played with the technology, I've checked it out, and it allows you to experience in 360 on your cell phone in real time with your NFTs dropping in. I wish I could announce them today, but we will very soon. We're this close. We are this close. And now that does not mean you're not going to need your headset.
Well, no, but I mean, still, like I'm jaw dropped right now.
With a little luck, yeah, I really want to team up with them. I mean, I really want to partner with them so deeply that they do all of our projects because they're so cool. They're so uniquely accessible. In my opinion, it'll be the easiest, lowest barrier for all of the teens to instantly have fun with the NFTs that we will have on the market in the experience.
Thank you. This is what I have been saying from day one. This is why I've always said that Solana is the blockchain of the future, not because it's fast and it's cheap, but because people want to use it because it's easy. Like accessibility for the average person is the most important thing that you can do to set yourself up for the future. And you guys have now just come out and said that your NFT is going to be the first accessible metaverse project.
100%. 100%.
Do I have to say anything else at this point? Like, can we just end the video there?
We're working on it. I'm going to be fair, right? I'm going to be real fair. Yes, that's the ambition. What people don't realize is how much effort, work, money, investment really. I mean, we're not a corporation with financial backing. We are ambitious developers, creators, and people with a vision, and we have a team. We have a good team, but we don't have
the best team.
Yeah, I mean, the money's out of our pockets, literally out of all of our pockets to get this going.
Yep.
But the unique advantage we have here is the NFT world. If we do something they love, if our utility is as good as we're working on it, and our background and our experience and our vision comes through, then we have something special.
Yep.
We're not locked in to the traditional system where they're going to extract our data and do something else a little bit shady.
Yeah.
We will be transparent. We will always be honest. We will be ambitious, but we will also have to be careful with over-promising. I want to over-deliver and under-promise.
Yeah.
So I promise that we will work our asses off, and what we deliver, I look forward to, based on my track record, that it should be something pretty fun to play with.
And this brings it full circle, right? Because we started out this entire interview, this entire video with you guys are doing a pre-sale soon but I haven't heard much from you. And it turns out that it's because you guys are building something truly special. And your head's down and you're focused on it right now. And it's coming out of your own pocket because you believe in it.
So personally, myself as well as a couple additional members have literally gone broke just to fund this project. We're all in, completely all in, just so that we could see out the success of this project. And that brings me back to the initial point that you were making with our pre-sale. So a lot of these projects, they spend their time building their Discord just so that they can collect money from you and give you a generative art piece.
Uh-huh.
That's not at all what we're trying to do here. So this development, it's taken a lot of time. It's been stressful. It's been months, just 24/7 grinding on here, taking out flights across the country to meet up with random people that we've met on Clubhouse and stuff of that sort. But honestly, to take that leap of faith with 361 VR and the team around it has honestly just been the best decision of my lifetime. It's opened up a door of opportunities with not just building and developing the metaverse, but other metaverse projects that are already successful and out right now. So shout out to Robert and Starlink Metaverse. But pretty much we're very well connected to make this a reality. There's going to be a lot of cross collaborations coming out. There's going to be some really cool merchandise. Like I said again with the hologram AI, it's really, we're trying to bring something new to the space here. Not just be how quickly can we sell out, because at the end of the day, the power is within the community. So whether this takes an hour, a day, or a month to sell out, the goal is all the same. It's to be able to include everybody. And so we're looking for diamond-handed holders, people that are actually interested in the metaverse rather than just buying and hopefully flipping some Solana NFT, which may or may not happen. But what I do know will happen is that Moonrock's metaverse will become the first metaverse that is accessible to virtually anybody. And by allowing other platforms to build within our metaverse, we're going to be able to take this to a whole nother level. And that would be because it'll be just an amazing way to connect different communities and build one huge community under the Moonrocks metaverse where anyone can have their own world. We are also having a parent project, which I won't get into too much details, as our metaverse builder. That's going to be something absolutely huge, and you'll see that Moonrocks is something so much bigger than just an NFT drop when that releases. So definitely to all the viewers, stay tuned and sit tight for what we have coming up in store. It's going to be amazing. And Knox, I just wanted to say thank you for helping us to get the name of Moonrocks out there, because while we've been busy building the foundation, we haven't been slacking on the actual marketing aspect, but we've been building up our connections, obviously, with some influencers, and of course, the king of Solana YouTube NFTs. But yeah, we have so much stuff coming up in store. So I'd be happy to hear whatever your next question is. We're just excited to put all.
I'm still just kind of like jaw dropped and speechless. I'm floored by what your vision is. It's not everybody wants to be a part of the metaverse. Everybody's trying to build an NFT to be in the metaverse. A couple people are doing some unique things, but not many people are actually building an accessible metaverse, and that's very exciting to me to hear that. That you thought not about your money, not about your technical capabilities, but you thought about your audience. And you thought about reaching your audience. You thought about my mom or my kids. These are the people who aren't in blockchain, who aren't technically savvy, but you are making something that they can use.
I mean, definitely, yeah, because this is ultimately, this is about the audience. This is about the immersive experience that the metaverse gives to the user and the player. It's not about just making a quick NFT drop and getting some money and leaving, because there's there's a really big impact we could have on this space, and honestly that's just what our mission has become for the past few months.
Yep.
Just grinding day in, day out. How can we change up this space? How can we make Solana NFTs that much more cooler? Because at this point the market is starting to reach a point where it's becoming a bit oversaturated. You have a ton of these shitty NFT projects with like the weirdest ideas, and for whatever reason they are selling out, whether that be a celebrity pushing it or whether that just be intent, a lot of money dropped on marketing. I mean, regardless, what I know is that ultimately this is an experience for the user. So we're just trying to make it as cool, as flawless, as exciting and entertaining as possible, because not only is the metaverse kind of like a virtual world, but it also incorporates the gaming app.
Yep.
In the crypto space has been absolutely mooning recently.
And I see it all kind of coming together where um, you guys are not, again, looking for flippers. You are looking for investors who believe in Moon Rocks and your capability to deliver this. And now, hearing your vision and hearing about Louise's background and expertise, I'm fired up. I'm ready to mint. Where's pre-sale? I want it. So, and then you've got like a banging website, really, really cool stuff there.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're definitely excited. And like you were saying about the flippers, just so that you guys know, paper hands will be getting burned. We're introducing something completely new to the NFT space with our flamethrower. It's pretty much going to be a mechanism that we've come up with where we will be not just sweeping the floors, but we'll be buying back NFTs and literally burning them. So this will bring a like shortage shock to the market. And when people start to see, okay, there's only going to be 8,888 mad Martians ever, and they're slowly dying, it'll definitely have a lot of paper hands, hopefully going through the diamond hand experience. If not, I mean, that's totally cool. It's just going to be less of less Martians around. But yeah, we have so much in store. It's not just what's showing up, what you can see with season 1 through our insane mad Martians, but we'll also have a season 2 metahuman drop. The backstory is extremely cool to this project. A lot of other Solana NFT projects don't have a backstory, so I highly recommend you guys to go on our website, check that out. And this is going to be a very interactive experience. It's going to be where the community is able to make decisions and about how they would like the story to go. And there's just this is really shaping up to be one of the best NFTs. I'm super excited.
You've got a story, a roadmap, seasons, airdrops, metaverse with an actual team already working on it. Not an empty promise. You've invested your own money. Hell, like the handful of times that I've talked to you, like it's been like, oh man, I'm sorry, I was in New York last week. I was in Atlanta last week. I was in LA last week. Because you're going to these places to hustle. And I don't know, man. It's super impressive. It's super exhilarating and borderline relieving to hear that amidst all of the noise and the mess that's going on with some Solana NFTs, the stuff that you see on Twitter, that there are people legitimately trying to build a special product for Solana and their audience.
For sure. And that hustle just comes about for wanting to be the best simply, and that's what we would like for our community. So we'll always have the communities back. We're transparent. We let them know what's going on. And that's exactly how it has to be for our project to be successful. I mean, you have to hustle. You have to want it. You have to want to be the best. It's not like Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates were just sitting around waiting for stuff to happen. So, even if this is a fairly new concept of a metaverse, I mean, I'm sure just with the people we've been surrounding ourselves with, the connections we've been establishing, the stuff we've been building, developing, the ideas and the time and commitment, the effort, all the ambition, everything that goes into it, I mean, will ultimately lead to Moonrock's success. But not only that, we'll be setting the foundation for other NFT projects to also be inducted into the metaverse, which if we could be the first, I think that would be the coolest of the cool. I mean, think about how the first of any project usually goes. Like, for example, in the NFT space, you have the crypto punks, you have the bored apes. They're the first to establish kind of dominance in this space. So while what they've done is extremely huge and they've announced some credibility, they've pretty much sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? They've pretty much just showed their credibility and set their foot in the ground and established themselves as the first in this space. So my question to the viewers is, imagine what the first metaverse builder NFT will look like to you. So that's why, of course, we only want diamond hands, because we see the real potential and the true power in our project. We're not just looking for people that are going to come try and get a quick flip and in a way use us, because that's wasting virtually everybody's time. I mean, there's so many people in the crypto space who have been like, oh, if I just held on to this project, I would be a millionaire if I just did that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't promise anything, but with the way that we're shaping ourselves up to be, if we're truly able to establish our goal of setting ourselves up as the foundation for metaverse builders, I mean, there's no reason that this couldn't be a top Solana blue chip project, which is our goal.
Yeah. Well, I'll be minting, that's for sure. Since Google is going to kick us out in the next couple minutes, let's wrap up with some closing statements. What are y'all's final thoughts?
Knox, maybe this is one of the funnest months I get to say something cool. Moon Rocks is a project that I'm happy to team up with. Vice versa, I have 2 drops. One a feature film that I've been working on for 10 years, and one that's related around football. So what we're building here, we're looking to strategically build with each other and adapt the ability to connect our worlds or universes into the metaverse. And the collaboration is not a collaboration. We're with each other. It's beyond a collaboration, right? I, 361VR, have joined Moon Rocks to build this foundation from the floor up, so we can be sure that we have the accessibility to all these other projects that we're close to. Some of them I'm heavily involved with and I've been working on for a year. So it's not it's the joint venture of multiple teams coming together to give us a stronger entire group effort, basically from around the world. Many of our members are from other countries. So I had Moon Rocks fly from Atlanta to California. I introduced them to my team members, to some studio people, and then I've talked to other studio friends of mine and executives. And it's still early, but I'm really excited over how special this is going to turn over the next 90 days. And I'm lucky and thankful to get to mention that on here. I wish I could say a lot more, but the truth is there's a lot of moving parts, and I don't want to misrepresent the final outcome. It's just multiple projects coming together to build something extraordinarily special.
Yeah.
Definitely. And to kind of piggyback off of 361, this is a way to include everyone. This is kind of like our Moonrocks is catered towards the anime aspect of things, also with a bit of a twist, because I know a lot of people in the NFT space are huge stoners. So this is kind of a way to incorporate that. And like Luis was saying, through his football drop and through a lot of our other partnerships, we'll literally be able to include hopefully everybody within the NFT space. There's a bit of there's a bit of something for everybody at Moonrocks, and we are just super excited to show you guys what we've been grinding on.
Yeah. I am super excited to see it. So I have my eyes peeled on you guys. I'll be minting. I'm ready to rock and roll. This is very, very exciting. Thank you guys for your time sitting down with me today. And thank you, audience, for listening along. Go check out Moonrocks. Follow them on Twitter. Jump in their Discord. Notifications on, so when they tweet, you get notified what's going on. The pre-sale's coming up soon. Also explore their website for sure. Thanks for stopping by, y'all.